Thank you for joining us today at Miniature Wargaming Labs. So I've finished painting up my Policia figures. These are from several different sets we reviewed. These are from Brigade Games, part of their Drug War Z line, but they make for great Colombian National Police. And for example, we'll be painting this individual right here. Now to paint this guy, primed him with Army Painter Green, so if you ever make a mistake, just get out your Army Painter bottle. Then we used Matte Black, Monster Brown, Sterling Mud, Nuln Oil, Agrax Earthshade, Iron Rack Skin, White Scar, and P3's Gnarls Green, though any dark green would do. And for the skin, that was Tan Flesh. That's what the Agrax Earthshade goes on. So let's go ahead and get started painting this guy. To start, you can see I have primed him Army Painter Green. This will save me a lot of time on the uniform. And now I'm going to use some matte black here. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint the boots black. We're going to get his rifle here. Watch out for his fingers, they're holding the magazine. And now we're also going to do his webbing and gear. And I've looked at pictures of Colombian Federal Police from the 80s and found most of the webbing was black, though you could see some variations on the pouches they would hang off. Sometimes be green, black, brown. So given the nature of military procurement, you probably paint them any dull color you wanted and still be accurate historically. So we'll go ahead and finish up this black. To start, you can see I have primed him Army Painter Green. This will save me a lot of time on the uniform. And now I'm going to use some matte black here. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint the boots black. We're going to get his rifle here. Watch out for his fingers, they're holding the magazine. And now we're also going to do his webbing and gear. And I've looked at pictures of Colombian Federal Police from the 80s and found most of the webbing was black, though you could see some variations on the pouches they would hang off. Sometimes be green, black, brown. So given the nature of military procurement, you probably paint them any dull color you wanted and still be accurate historically. So we'll go ahead and finish up this black. Now we have the black on, I'm going to put some Sterling Mud to texture the base. And for that, I'm going to use my little tool here. And it's alright if I touch the black of the boot. I just don't want it everywhere. I just put a little swirly pattern into there. And make sure to mound up a bunch where the slot ties into the base. That way you don't see the indents when it dries. Now it's going to take a while for that Sterling Mud to dry, and we're going to take this opportunity to put some Nuln Oil on the green. We'll dampen this guy down. So I'm going to take a brush I've already messed up. I'm just going to slop a bunch of Nuln Oil on him. There we go. Now we're going to let that dry for a while. Now I'm going to paint up the base that's textured and dry. I'm going to use Army Painter's Monster Brown. I'm going to take my brush. And I'll just put one quick coat. Now while we wait for that to dry, I'm going to take some iron rack skin. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the parts that will be his skin tone, his flesh color. This is going to be his hands and his face. Now, something I noticed in looking up the federal police in Colombia in the 80s and 90s, even though wearing the green utilities, much like the U.S. Army, at a certain point in time, they wore a white undershirt. So I'll want to make sure and touch the shirt there. And just carefully move around. Can't forget this hand. And I'm going to wait for that white to dry. I'm going to take some P3 Gnarls Green. Actually, any dark green will do. We don't need that much of it because we're just going to do their cat badge. Back then, they appear to have had a dark badge that they wore on their peak caps. There. I'll just put a little dot of green. There we go. And while I'm here, let's pick out a skin color. And there's a wide variety of colors to pick from that work for Colombia, but we're going to go with tan flesh. And I'm going to squeeze out a little dot of the tan flesh. Just put one thin layer over the white we just laid down. And so remember, move your model around your brush, not your brush around your model. You're not going to worry about hair because they should be clean shaven. And since these are the lower rank guys, they don't have longer hair. You keep it nice and tight. Now it's time to put on second grouping of washes. For that, I'm going to use Nuln Oil again. But this time, I'm just putting Nuln Oil on the base here. Drifting off camera. Alright, now I'm going to do the skin tone, and I've used a variety of washes, but it does create different effects, which I like, because I don't want them all looking the same. So I'm going to take my brush and some Agrax Earthshade. And just put a light coat. Spin our little guy around and just wash him in. Let's see. Yep, just want to make sure it's nice and even all the way around. Make sure to get under his chin. There we go. Alright, now we're going to let that guy dry, and we'll be back. Alright, now the character started to dry up here, what I'm going to do is I took some Vallejo German camouflage beige World War II. And what I did is I've got a messed up brush that I've kind of turned into a little tiny dry brush. So we're going to get most of that paint off. And we're just going to start hitting the green. We're also going to use it to kind of dusty up the boots. The sculptor put laces in there, so you might as well show them off. And boots do get dusty. This gives us a chance to kind of pick out black of the webbing. So you go around, brush it like that, till you got everything dusty the way you like it. Next I'm going to take some white scar. Now any really bright white will do here. And we're going to take the finest brush I have. I'm going to make his little t-shirt pop out, his undershirt. And then something I want to do is, when they had these caps, they had the little badge on them. Which you normally find is actually a star shape, like most law enforcement. So I just kind of try to draw at least a dot. So we just take our brush and kind of hit the center of that. And then I just take the tip of the brush and I hit the edge of the little patch on the hat. It's not working out. What I'm trying to do is make it look like there's writing. So I just put some little squiggle lines. But, you know what, I think I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I'm going to fix that because I'm not happy with how it turned out. Then I'm going to take the white and the side of my brush. I'm just going to make some little highlights, make it look like the metal's reflecting. So I want to get both sides. There we go. Do a check from the top. Alright. Now I want to fix up that badge cap. I'm happy with how it turned out, so I keep all my paints with me until I'm completely done with the project. So I'm going to go back, get that green from P3 out. Then what I'm going to do is just draw a little circle. See, what I tried to draw is a star, and what I tried to make as the writing around the edge of the cap kind of got blended together. Alright, so get that fixed out. So that'll be the edging. Let's get this white and redo that star. Well, it's actually just kind of a white blob. Okay, just boop. Alright. Tough to see, I know, but worth it. Alright, now to finish up, let's get out my edging color, which I use Bugman's Glow. So get Bugman's Glow down here. And we start painting the rim. Sometimes with this one I go twice around, make sure it's a nice, smooth, consistent color. And I think we're going to call it a day. I'll just make it tabletop ready. So, don't want to touch the rim yet. I'm happy with how he turned out. Let's get a good look. Okay. Well, so thank you for joining us at Miniature Wargaming Labs. These guys are really nice models. So, join us again next time.